We think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. He'll have to like it. And if he doesn't like it, then, they should just keep fighting, I guess. Right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done, too, if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
Have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to
Who?
President Zelensky about your plan? Or meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy-producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. We have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. Last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. They're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on, and I think they're getting reasonably close, but I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead, and we worked something out on that. But so many, and the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker. But it does take 2 to tango. And now you just see all the death. And, it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people that really, it's on the other side of the ocean. It's a war that should have never happened. It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk. This is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened if I were president. But we're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian, and it's a shame.
What do you also about this Ukraine plan?
Yeah.
President Zelensky said today that his country would risk either giving up a partner or giving up its dignity. There's been criticism that this deal...
You mean he doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of
Well,
pretending...
he'll have to like it, and if he doesn't like it, then, they should just keep fighting, I guess,
The suggestion that he made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some
accurate?
point he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. This war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done, too, if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
The United States and Russia have put together a 28-point plan aimed at ending the Russia-Ukraine war, a framework that would require Kyiv to partly surrender both weapons and territory. Although Washington has not officially unveiled the proposal, and Moscow has publicly denied that it exists, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed on Thursday that his office has received the draft. According to reports, the broad 28-point document echoes many of the demands Moscow issued shortly after launching its full-scale invasion in early 2022. The draft was allegedly developed by Russian and U.S. officials with backing from Trump, while Kyiv was excluded from the process altogether. On Friday morning, Trump stated that next Thursday, the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday, would be an acceptable deadline for Zelensky to sign the deal, which European and Ukrainian officials have characterized as a capitulation. Delivering a somber 10-minute address outside his presidential palace, Zelensky said his country faced an impossible decision. It could maintain its national dignity or risk losing a crucial ally in the form of a U.S. administration that appears intent on concluding the conflict on Moscow's harsh terms. A very difficult choice, either loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, the United States.
Ukrainians, men and women, In the life of every nation, there comes a moment when everyone needs to speak honestly, calmly, without speculation, rumors, gossip, or anything unnecessary. Just as things are, just as I always try to speak with you. Right now is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Right now, the pressure on Ukraine is among the greatest we've ever faced. Now, Ukraine may be facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner. Either a complicated 28 points or an extremely hard winter, the hardest yet, and further risks. A life without freedom, without dignity, without justice. And for us to trust the one who has already attacked us twice. They will be expecting an answer from us. Although, in fact, I already gave it on May 20th, 2019, when, swearing allegiance to Ukraine, I specifically said, I, Volodymyr Zelensky, elected by the will of the people as President of Ukraine, pledge with all my actions to defend the sovereignty and independence of Ukraine, to uphold the rights and freedoms of citizens, to abide by the Constitution and laws of Ukraine, to fulfill my duties in the interests of all compatriots, and to raise the authority of Ukraine in the world. For me, this is not just a protocol formality, not just a box to check. This is an oath. And every day I remain faithful to every word of it. I will never betray it. The national Ukrainian interest must be taken into account. We do not make loud statements. We will calmly work with America and all our partners. There will be a constructive search for solutions with our main partner. I will present arguments, I will persuade, I will offer alternatives, but we will certainly not give the enemy any reason to say that Ukraine does not want peace, that it is Ukraine disrupting the process, or that Ukraine is not ready for diplomacy. That will not happen. Ukraine will work quickly. Today, on Saturday and Sunday, all of next week, and for as long as it takes. Around the clock, I will fight to ensure that at least 2 points are not omitted from the plan. This is the dignity and freedom of Ukrainians, because everything else is based on this: our sovereignty, our independence, our land, our people, and the Ukrainian future. We will and must do everything so that in the end the war ends, but not Ukraine, not Europe, and not global peace. I have just spoken with Europeans. We are counting on our European friends who clearly understand that Russia is not somewhere far away, that it is right next to the EU borders, that Ukraine is now the only shield separating comfortable European life from Putin's plans. We remember Europe was with us. We believe Europe will be with us. Ukraine must not experience a déjà vu of February 24th, when it felt like we were alone, when no one could stop Russia except for our heroic people who stood as a wall against Putin's army. And of course, we were very pleased when the world said, Ukrainians, they are incredible. My God, what Ukrainians they are, how they fight, how Ukrainians resist, what titans they are. And that's true. Absolutely. But Europe and the whole world must also understand another truth, that Ukrainians are, above all, people. And for almost 4 years of the full-scale invasion, we have been holding back one of the largest armies in the world. And we are holding a front line that stretches for several thousand kilometers. And our people endure shelling, missile attacks, ballistic strikes, and Shahed drone attacks every night. And our people lose someone close to them every day. And our people very, very much want this war, this terrible war, to end. Of course, we are made of steel, but even the strongest metal can eventually break. Don't forget this. Stand with Ukraine. Stand with our people, and therefore stand with dignity and freedom.